Welcome to the In-Season Podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Yeah, so Court, if you're ready, the question is, I forgot.
What was the
What's the
best
best
piece of advice?
There you go, somebody.
What was the best piece of advice you ever got about your epilepsy?
That it doesn't have to be who I am. It's just a part of what I deal with. Because I fucking hate this shit. But excuse my French. I think y'all can handle it if y'all talking about butt stuff. So hi.
Don't excuse your French, it's all right.
I like
Yeah,
that
it's
answer.
really good advice. Not to let it define you, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Okay, I got another one here. It says, so I don't really know how to process this. It says, I'm just going through the motions, telling people who care about who I haven't already heard. I had a seizure at work on Tuesday, no family history, no medical cause, no explanation. It just kind of happened. I was lucid, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up in the back of an ambulance. My coworkers filled me in on the rest of what happened. It was a whole ordeal. Some law enforcement officers restrained me to the ground, and it fucked me up. I'm not a big guy, but I'm not weak either. It took both of them to pin me down. I bit the ever-living shit out of my tongue. It's bruised, and I can't even taste good. How do y'all deal with this? I have zero experience with this, only minimal education on how to help someone having a seizure from when I was working in education with special needs adults. I never seen a seizure, so how do I handle that? I was told you to turn them on their side. Make sure they don't swallow their spit. Pretty basic, I guess.
Haven't they taken epilepsy seizure 101?
Don't think we have one of those.
They should follow me. I'm a big advocate for epilepsy.
Make sure they're not hitting their heads on anything hard.
There you go. That's a good one.
I think generally don't restrain them. Don't hold them down. I think that's what I'm.
Don't stick an object
or your hands.
That's the old one, right? They used to think you have to hold your tongue down or something. Yeah, that outdated.
Don't stick
the
anything
wallet.
in the mouth. Yeah,
the wallet
yeah,
that had it was stick a wallet in their mouth so they don't swallow their tongue. But it's like, get your hands away from my mouth because I might chomp your finger.
Yeah,
I don't want to wake up with a finger in my mouth.
I don't want to wake up with blood all over my face.
With the don't restrain also goes don't tase.
Yeah.
Do you get extra like excitability if somebody tase you? Is it like a seizure squared? Do y'all know what happens if you get tased while you're seizing?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it would do anything good.
When you get tased, it messes with the electrical current in your heart, and I'm sure that it would also affect the electrical current in your brain.
No, epileptics can't get tased.
No way.
Yeah, you can.
You can
tase
yourself. If it just happens.
If it would like
if you're
interrupt the abnormal electrical brainwave activity, kind of like they do with cardiac patients and stuff with an extremely high tachycardia. They administer adenosine, which stops the heart momentarily, and then when it resumes, it goes like normal. So I wonder if just a gigantic shock to the brain, like you get with a taser, would interrupt the haywire signaling and let the brain just kind of reboot normally.
I don't want to find out.
I wouldn't volunteer either, but I think it's an interesting question to consider at least.
Mhm.
Well, I
Us
guess it's probably happened.
epileptic
It has
can't
probably
get
happened in this
tased.
record.
It's a statement, not a question.
Oh, well, have you ever seen someone with epilepsy get tased?
Yes.
So they can get tased then. You've seen it happen.
Well, yeah, I guess they can get tased. Should they be?
Yeah, that's the other question.
Yeah, I've had a taser pulled out on me, and my mom kept saying he has epilepsy. He has epilepsy. That cop did not care. So I can get tased. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. I don't know if the area is different or the states, but yeah, they will tase you to restrain you, especially because I'm bigger than most cops. It's instantly, let me put some cuffs on you for me and your safety. So yeah, if I make him feel unsafe, being that I'm 6'2", he will tase me. He told me that. After my mom is screaming, he has epilepsy. So yeah, we can be tased. We are not what they call it, like, yeah, we don't get no freedom just because you have epilepsy.
Like a taser immunity because we're already electrified, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I mean the other option is just to straight shoot you, but the gun and the taser are on two different sides. So yeah.
That's why I got a I showed you guys my cards and my letter from my doctor.
Oh yeah, you told us about that, but yeah, I'm not gonna have time to pull anything out, especially out of my pocket. Not a letter either.
Check my wallet. Check my wallet.
But
they're gonna check my wallet once I'm downtown.
Yeah,
Alarm! I'm wearing a
more
disability
aggressive
bracelet.
first and figure it out later.
Yeah. Yes, you will get tased. So,
I'm not gonna resist. I'm not gonna resist. I can barely walk.
Well, no, but this is more like if you have a full tonic-clonic and you come out of it and or even if you're in it, they'll think that you're overdosing on drugs. Or if they catch you postical, sometimes we don't know what we're doing. And if people try and, restrain us or anything, our heads aren't there, so if we get aggressive with them, they're gonna go with all right, let's just get this person like detained or down, whatever, and then figure it out later. But like you're not gonna be going, I have my letter from my doctor. If you're coming out of it, like if you're postical, that's not happening.
Yeah, especially if you're black. I just thought it out there.
All right, just really quick, I looked this up very fast.
Just saying.
This is just from ChatGPT. So yes, a taser can affect someone with epilepsy differently and potentially more severely than someone without the condition. Here's why. Severe trigger risk, electrical shock and physical stress from a taser can potentially trigger a seizure in someone with epilepsy, especially if their seizures are stress-induced or sensitive to physical trauma. Pain, fear, and adrenaline spikes can also contribute seizure onset or risk of injury during seizure. Also, medication interaction, uh, um, things like that are all things to consider when being tased. Um,
Not to mention
so,
implants, devices.
oh yes, that too.
Hello, RNS, VNS. They try to bring a magnet around, my head will blow up.
I think maybe the word you might have been trying to use was they should not tase us.
Should not, yes.
Yeah, they should not, but they will.
Just like they should not restrain us, but they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, because they almost shot me one time. I had a seizure, a TC inside of Target. And in my postictal phase, I walked right out of Target. There was a bush to my right. I dropped my pants to the floor and started peeing. They were standing there wondering what the hell's going on. And luckily, my uncle was there. It's like, he's having a seizure. He's having a seizure. And I don't think they believed it at first. They were just like sitting there, holding the belt buckle like cops do and looking. And I think they finally understood when I kicked the rest of my pants off and just walked away.
Yeah, it's a huge problem, and then I always bring this up with not just the epileptic community. It's the people are too quick to react. They don't understand our community, and it's a good thing you're bringing awareness. People with mental conditions in general, and yeah, just too quick to react with force like that. Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Speaking of too quick to react here, go ahead, Courtney.
Or are you about to finish up? Because I was a
Oh
question.
no, I got a whole
you.
nother post. Please,
Oh,
please
okay.
ask. I got a whole nother post.
I don't want to go down this we like y'all already know it's about to be science time. You have a VNS, right, Kate? Or
RNS.
no? Is it something RNS? Okay. Okay, because does anybody have a VNS?
Okay.
You do.
Okay. How is it for you?
Works very well.
Okay. Because do you have one that's is it the one that is surgery for, or do you have one that you just apply to your neck? Because there's two different types now. Yeah.
I am not aware that there was two different types. I have one in my chest,
Okay.
and it links up through the vagus nerve
Yeah.
and into my neck.
Okay. And how long have you had it?
9 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's the newer ones that you they don't have to be as invasive, I guess you can say. And then also there was this paper I found that's 27 pages long. Sorry, y'all. It's about how vagus nerve stimulation naturally could be very beneficial for us soon. So that's why I was asking, because I have been trying to do stuff, and I remember Kate was talking about exercise too, so that's part of it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a whole different topic. So go ahead.
Well, I have to ask now, what are the methods of natural stimulation for the vagus nerve?
Just vagus nerve exercises that the deep breathing, the cold water exposure, like when you first wake up.
Yeah, you're telling me about the cold showers.
Yeah, it's just I can't think of all of them on top of my head, but yeah, now they also
It's cool.
have
It's
like
open in a tab. Now I'll go over it later.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so that thing about reacting too quickly, I saw this post here saying I had a seizure on a date and he left while I was unconscious. I'm still trying to process what happened, but I figured maybe someone out there can relate or at least offer some perspective. I've had refractory epilepsy for years. It's something that shaped a huge part of my life, whether I like it or not. I've struggled a lot socially because of it. I tend to keep myself not because I don't want connection. Oh, so they're saying keep to myself. Not because I don't want connection, but because I'm always afraid of being too much. The sick girl, the burden, the one people roll their eyes at or quietly distance themselves from. I've heard the comments before, she's always sick. Here we go again. And after a while, you start believing that maybe you're just not worth the trouble. But recently I decided to take a chance, open up. I met someone, and for the first time in a long while, things felt hopeful. We saw each other for about 6 or 7 months. I told him about my epilepsy right from the start, full honesty. He seemed understanding, kind, said all the right things. I let my guard down, which doesn't come easy. Last week we had our first little sleepover date, just a movie night at my place. Everything was going well until I felt the deep sinking aura before a seizure. I told him I wasn't sure, but something felt off. He said, "Don't worry, I got this." I guess he didn't. I woke up confused, head pounding, barely aware of where I was. I pieced it together slowly, realized I must have had a seizure. And then I realized something else. He was gone. Completely vanished. No note, no message, no response to calls or texts. Days later, he finally sent a casual. Okay. Guess I can't finish it up. Go ahead, guys. Take it from.
Mm. So
Well, days later sent a casual, doesn't really matter what he sent. If it took days after disappearing mid-seizure, like the guy is not the one. That's pretty clear. I don't know what he could say that could change anything about that. Like,
all right, there's not much you can say now. You left me for dead, basically.
We
yeah,
can understand
Yes.
if he'd stayed and made sure that she was okay, and then maybe like cut contact down for a few days while he processed. But like
mm,
it's the leaving while unconscious that blows my friggin' mind.
I feel like we
Oh,
should at least wait till I'm there and then panic and like tell me,
so
talk to you later.
well,
can I hear that part again? So he texted her how many days later, and what did he say exactly?
We didn't get that far.
we don't
Okay,
know. We didn't.
okay.
Oh, hey, here's Kate. What did he
He
text her?
And
What could
she,
possibly?
why is he? I would have blocked him. He wouldn't have been able to. Oh, he blocked him.
He hit her with the
Yeah.
good morning. How you doing today?
He must
That's
have got out of there fast too. Seizures don't last that long, only a few minutes. He must have got out within like,
Casual
yeah,
message saying he didn't think a relationship would work just like that. Don't think anything has ever hurt like waking up alone after letting someone in only to realize that they decided I wasn't worth sticking around for. So, yeah, I took a chance. I let someone see me and I got left at my most vulnerable. Right now, it feels like maybe putting myself out there was a mistake, but I'm still here, still breathing, still fighting. And maybe someday someone will see all of me, including the hard parts, and choose to stay. If you've gone through something similar, how did you find the strength to keep putting yourself out there? Or if you're someone who's been on the other side supporting someone with a chronic illness, what helped you stay? So that was the rest of the post there.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think he could have done that better. Could have handled that a little better. Just hit her up like the same day. How you doing? Um,
Yeah, that's. I don't want to be that person, but she saved herself from some bullshit. Like he took the trash, took itself out, as they like to say. Because, huh? I don't know.
and it happened early in the relationship, it seems.
Was it one?
It seizure spared her a lot of mess. If he's not
Mhm.
willing to stick around for something like that, then he's not going to be there for, well, I was going to say for life, but I don't know if that's, but yeah, I don't know.
Her
yeah.
life, at least.
Her life, yeah, that's very, in a very literal way, he's not going to be there for her life.
Yeah, I gotta agree, and he ran out right away, it seems. He bolted.
Hmm.
It seems, I mean, if he wasn't there, even when she woke up, I mean, he was gone in a second. He didn't even think. It looks like. and he was gone. Took off, you know,
Yeah.
That's
I think dating right now will be so hard as an epileptic. It's just, is anyone single in here or dating? Like, how has dating been for
Single,
anybody
not
that's
dating.
single? Hmm?
Oh, sorry, I raised my hand, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
single, but then you continued on dating, not dating, single.
That's fine.
So that's,
That's fine.
yeah,
Dating's been
perpetually.
awesome, man. I don't know any other way to put it. It's been all right. I wouldn't even say I'm in a relationship. I might just be dating or spending the night, however that plays out. But yeah,
no.
not in a relationship.
I got lucky.
Brandon has a
I was
girlfriend.
yeah, well, I got lucky where like all the people who were like the second they saw epilepsy ran, it made it so that my I could meet my girlfriend, and I had a seizure at her place the first time I ever stayed at her apartment. The morning after I had a seizure, um, like a full TC, and she was right there for me every step of the way.
Yeah, I been with my boyfriend 5 years. I had my first seizure December 2022, a few days before 2023. That's how I remember. And he knew what to do. He still knows what to do. So I got really lucky with how things are set up. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna go into too many details, but yeah, I got super lucky. And I just hope like there's people who are a bit more empathetic, because do y'all think it's just not enough information on what epilepsy looks like? Because I don't know, people underestimate it until they see it, because I'm just confused, because I always knew it was a serious condition, and I'm just like, why are people so shocked at how hard things are for us?
A lot of people they think seizures, not epilepsy. So a lot of people, when I bring up epilepsy, they're like, "What's that?" Most people know what seizures are, but they don't know what epilepsy is. So that's also a thing you got to look for when you tell someone you have epilepsy. You have to say, "Also, I have seizures." But my bracelet, it says, "I have seizures. Call my mom. Don't Narcan me." So
I guess a better way of phrasing it would actually be, I have epilepsy, which means I have seizures. You know what I mean? That way it connects the two even more. It's like not also, it's like because I have epilepsy, I have seizures. Now you know the connection.
yeah, when I went to the concert, I knew there was going to be a bunch of lights because it's the weekend. But the girl that was next to me, she didn't know I sold that ticket to her online. But she sat next to me, and I was like, "You know what epilepsy is?" And she was like, "Yeah." And the music was playing, so she was like all excited. "Yeah, I know what epilepsy is." Then I was like, "Okay, I have seizures." She was like, "What?" And I was like, obviously, she did not know what epilepsy was. And when I had seizures, she put them together. Seizures come with epilepsy. Wait, no. Epilepsy is seizures, but seizures aren't exactly epilepsy. Can I put it that way? It's like saying, whatever.
Like not all seizures are epileptic, but all epileptics have seizures, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
obviously you're like Kevin here, who like has managed to be on the longest streak out of all of us. Go, Kevin.
I was saying it like, like, let's say an eagle is a bird, but a bird isn't an eagle. That was how I was trying to say it. I was trying to be kind of funny about it, but it never landed. So I got something else here. It said, "Did changing meds change the type of seizures you have? I've had many types of seizures over my life, anywhere from mild focal absences to tonic-clonic, and have dislocated my shoulder and the TC were the norm for over a decade until recently. My doctor switched me from Keppra to Vimpat to Excopri in about 3 months. The seizures weren't stopping and the side effects were horrible, so we wanted to try something new. In addition, I have a VNS implant, but that never changed my seizures. Fast forward to today, and I'm still having 1 to 2 a month, but they are back to what seems to be absent seizures or focal seizures. No more thrashing around or biting my tongue. And in that regard, I'd say this is an improvement. But I still want to achieve the goal of being seizure free. What do you think? Any similar experiences? No. Yeah, I was in my teens when I switched a lot. And once I got older, I don't think I was paying attention to my health for a long time. So I wouldn't say they changed. I think I always just been having grand mal seizures. And that's all I knew, because every time I get put in the ambulance and the paramedics are like, what kind of seizure was it? I'd be like, the shaking ones, you know? That's the only type, right? I did not know that there's more than that. So
I'm on my 12th medication. So, and I always get tolerant to the medication pretty quickly, especially when I was younger. So that was one of my fears of having my rescue med be the same thing as I'm taking nightly, because if I become tolerant to that, that's not going to rescue me. But
Are you not
yeah,
are you not a candidate for getting like a VNS or RNS or some sort of
no,
implant?
we haven't talked about that yet. They haven't. Aren't officially diagnosed yet, I guess, as medically resistant, even though I read up on it and all you need is 2, basically. But my doctors I even gave them the stuff I had from when I was younger. I've been through so many meds. And I was talking about it with Rick the other night,
how
But
long can you be on one med before you switch? Like, what's your average amount of time you stay on one pill?
I think as I got older, it became I can stay on more time. But when I was younger, I think the reason why now, though, is because my liver issues. But when I was younger and way healthier, I would be constantly like, oh, he's got to up his dose again. He's got to up his dose again. We got to add this. And we got to change him to this medicine. Like, I think I've been through 4 medications before I even got out of high school.
Then you were starting high school?
Mine started in 8th grade. So basically around the same time, but yeah.
Yeah, just about.
But yeah. Given that I've been through like 4 right before graduating, that's still a lot, a lot to go through.
Okay.
I mean, I feel it is.
One of the responses to that says, yeah, I used to have TCs. The first med they put me on was Keppra, which had them under control. However, once I hit 30 years old, I had another one and upping the dose didn't help. So the doc put me on lamotrigine as well. After that, my TCs were under control, but then for the first time, I started having fogals. Since then, they upped my dosage and everything has been relatively under control, but I'll still have a focal usually once every couple of months. I could try other meds if I wanted to and possibly try to get it under control, but honestly, my meds haven't given me any terrible side effects so far, and I don't want to subject myself to another one with all the potential side effects that it could cause. So I'm just sticking with this for now. Somebody else said, I'm convinced my meds are hiding and warning signs, or hiding my warning signs, but I also may be just paranoid. Someone else said I went. Huh? Hold
Sorry.
on.
Okay, you go. Sorry.
It said I went from having TCs every 6 months over 4 years. When I was finally medicated properly, they changed to focal impaired awareness. I'm on 3 different meds, and now since I have 3 to 4 seizures a month, now I'm looking at an implant or ablation or whatever my doctor decides. It's frustrating as fuck. Did you have something, Kevin?
Yes, about the person who asked the question. They said they had a VNS. I wanted to know if they said how long they had it or anything. Did they indicate?
They did not say the amount of time that they've had it. They just said in addition to. So yeah. Did you? Oh, you stopped having seizures all over. So,
Well,
question still here? No.
Well, it just might matter because it takes a while for the VNS to work, and I don't know. And
anybody else change medications and how'd that happen? How'd that go for you? No.
I just started Scopri like 3 months ago. I started with lamotrigine first and only then. And then, like I told y'all, I was 10 months seizure free my first year. So basically, my first year, I only had one tonic colonic, and it technically wasn't in a year. And then I started having the focal impaired awareness seizures mid 2024. Yeah, what year is it? Yeah. So I tried lamotrigine, I tried lacosamide, Riviac scared me, and I am on lacosamide. I know, give me a second. So that's the only thing with meds right now. Like I say, Scopri is rough because you have to titrate for like 2 weeks, and that's like a really strong med. So, but other than that, I didn't try anything a huge wide range of medicine, and it's only for my complex partial seizures or focal impaired
2
awareness.
weeks. I
Yeah,
gotta go 12.
12.5 is like the first amount you had to try.
I'm on week 8.
Yeah, of which one?
Excopri.
Yes. And then you started 12.5 milligrams. And what dosage are you at now?
I think I'm on the 50 milligrams. About to go up to 100.
And then 150, then 200.
No, yeah.
I tried to get up to 200, but I had to come down back to 150 because they messed up my sleep too bad.
Did your Courtney, did your seizures change when you switched medications?
No, I haven't had a change in seizure since I switched.
Like the kind of seizure.
I only have complex partial seizures now. They haven't changed since I went through a really stressful event, and those are the only ones I really get now. So not necessarily.
Okay, yeah. So the other people, they said they took a medication and the tonic stopped, but they started having focals. That's what I meant by like change.
Oh yeah, for sure. The lamotrigine controls my tonic-clonic. Lamotrigine controls my complex partial seizures, which is why I was asking Kevin about his VNS. He's saying he's never had focals, so that's why I'm kind of interested.
Everybody's body is different. Tom has the VNS too. I think he said he just his auras.
I think he has a RNS too. Tom.
Don't take my word for it, but I think it was the VNS.
I thought he had 2.
We had a one-on-one. We did have somebody who had 2. Forgot his name, but we'll move to the next one. It says suggestions for nausea. Any recommendations for how to treat nausea from epilepsy, or even if meds that we take. I've heard good things about ginger, but have only drunk either ginger tea or ginger ale. Does anyone have a specific way to consume ginger for nausea? I really need something for on the go. I've been experiencing a lot of nausea in the car since getting epilepsy, starting meds, but still haven't found a good way to deal with it. Please help and thank you.
They may need to do a gut issue, like look into their gut issues. That sound like that might be a nerve thing with their like nausea and epilepsy, because you know it hits your three parts: your heart, your brain, and your gut. They might need to look into that. And I guess ginger tea would be my first suggestion if they're trying to start something. But they probably need to look into probiotics, prebiotics diet.
Yeah, so the ginger is a good idea. And somebody also said that they ended up with Onzofran, a form of Zofran. Somebody else said, for me, it's Sprite. I don't know if it's because of the stomach acid or what, but I have a Sprite at least once or twice a day when the nausea, and it helps me.
Try smoothies, making fresh smoothies if you're on the go, because I like to eat foods as fresh as possible, and make like a fruit smoothie or a veggie smoothie and throw the ginger in there. Maybe a couple, just, scrape it in there. Very, very simple. It's very fresh, very good.
So I got Raven in the comments. She said, I like plain carbonated water. It's just like a sparkling mineral water type of thing. Not sure what that means. Yeah, so the Sprite is what someone else said, I guess. Smoking usually helps for me. Helps me just go to sleep, I guess. MCT oil. I had a friend whose daughter is epileptic recommend I try MCT oil in my 11 years of epilepsy. I have never heard of it that I remember. Input and recommendations. Anybody know what MCT oil is?
Medium chain triglycerides,
From coconut.
Talk about it.
fatty acids kind
Please
of thing.
explain.
Like sort of. Well, let Kate explain. Or Court, sorry.
I'm explaining with food in mind.
Guys know what it is, but have no way to explain it.
It's the ideal energy source for, if I'm not mistaken, your blood. It's saturated in coconut and palm kernel oil, but it's best to get it from coconut oil, and it's just basically a quick source of energy. It's easily digested and absorbed. So that's what it is.
Someone said apparently it can help the keto diet more palatable and converts the ketones more easly than the fats. Someone said I consumed a ton of MCT oil while trying the modified Atkins diet. Obligatory, not a doctor, but my understanding is that the ketosis state, that it's beneficial, not the MCT oil itself. It's possible the MCT oil does help. I'm not an expert at this study, but here is a study on modified Atkins diet if you need help. It's just a link.
You just have to be careful still because it's a saturated fat, and how your body deals with saturated fats. You have to be careful because of your heart, like the solidifying of it.
I'm invincible. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Good one, pretty easy one. When to drive. Hi guys, I'm hoping to find others who might understand. About a year ago, I had my first ever seizure. Some might recall my previous post for more. Before it, I had jolting movements causing confusion and involuntary actions. These worsened, leading from my left temporal lobe epilepsy, focal diagnosis. Though it wasn't indefinite, I'm 20 and still no driver's license. It's tough, especially with my parents and others constantly shaming me about it, making me feel worse. Even after just having one seizure, I'm genuinely hesitant to drive. I'm on Devalparex and lacosamide, working with my neurologist on dosage. I still have moments where I don't feel entirely normal, in quotes, making me question if I'm ready to drive safely. I know it might sound dramatic after a year, but this is a real anxiety inducing fear for me. For those who do drive, how do you decide you were ready and after your first seizure? Do you ever feel 100% normal, normals in quotes again, and confident on the road? Any advice would be great. I don't drive and I don't suggest it. So, thoughts, you guys? Any guys you driving? Anybody? I don't think so, right?
Nope.
So advice to this guy: you just say not drive. Somebody tell him something.
And don't feel peer pressure to drive just because you think it is. You know, I'm 40s. I'm in my 40s, and I was taking my driver's license, my exams and stuff. But after a tonic clonic, I decided nope. I would rather take public transportation for the rest of my life than hurt somebody.
I'm 29. I've never had a license at all, and that was before even starting getting even before I started getting seizures. Didn't have a license. For me, it just didn't matter, I guess, but it's different for everyone. Depends on where you live and what somebody just mentioned, like transport. Yeah, it's like what the public transportation system is. You know, I'm with James on the bike thing where it's like if I have a seizure while I'm riding, the only person I can hurt is myself. Hopefully.
Yeah. I've never had a license. Never even been to the DMV to fill out that form. Yeah, so like Brandon, I didn't get that far. I drove, but I never got a license. So yeah, it's very irresponsible. It's probably against the law. I'm not sure. Might have to edit that out. But
So, Court, you're
why not?
looking into actually getting the bike?
Huh?
Do you usually go without long enough? Courtney said in the chat that boyfriends is suggesting that she gets an electric bike, and I've always wanted to try that, but you know,
Go for
still
the
think it's a little too risky.
electric Brompton. It folds up. It's like an amazing bike. My boss, who literally races bikes, like nice bikes, he got one for his partner recently, to use to get to work. And he's been stealing it here and there when he can, because he's like, this thing is amazing with the slight just electric assist. You do basically no work, but you still have to pedal, so you have control, and it's not a full throttle, which that's where like you run into the people who are riding e-bikes like maniacs when it's the full throttle, basically a motorcycle. But yeah, go for the electric Brompton.
Hey Siri.
Great suggestion. So that last post about the guy who ditched, she just finished up by saying basically anyone who's ever had a similar situation, how do you keep finding the strength to keep putting yourself out there? You know, continue dating after you've had one go wrong because of a seizure. And on the other side, if you're someone who's been supporting someone with a chronic illness, what helped you stay? Never been one on the other side to support with a chronic illness. But as far as, you know, putting yourself out there, it's more of that initial thing that I think Courtney said of you don't let this define you. What do you guys think?
We went through this when you left.
Yeah, go figure. Okay, so another one of the comments is saying, I had a seizure during a job interview for a role as a solicitor at a research institute, very high level job. They asked me to leave when the seizure ended. You'd expect way better, right? it made me realize that people who do not come into contact with epilepsy just don't understand it on any level and are just afraid. They have a lot of fear of the unknown, and they live in very small worlds that they don't intend to venture out of. Epilepsy forces us to do that every day, and we are just very different people reject scary unknown disabilities. I'm really sorry that you came across someone like this, but it's not about you. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and do something nice for yourself. Yeah, so being asked to leave a job interview after a seizure would be
Yeah, earlier we were talking
kind
about
of
how
risky
easy it
too.
is to date, but yeah, I said it's pretty easy. I mean, if you try, or you just want to spend the night with somebody, that might be easier. But
Yeah, but in the job interview, I mean, there's expectations, at least on a date. I mean, yeah, the happy ending there, but on the job interview, they didn't ask questions. They just literally sent that one home. No long term there.
Did they at least get back in contact with the the people they were interviewing with? I mean, did they follow up? And
It sounds like they're definitely upset about it, but come to terms by saying they were just scared, fear of the unknown, live in small world. So that's kind of an indication to me that maybe the job interview was over. They didn't get back in touch, and this person had to rationalize how they could be such assholes. Chalked it up to just being scared. Anything
it's a horrible
unrecognized.
thing. It's a horrible thing that happened and unfortunate, but we still have to be aggressive in these situations and always follow up with job interviews, even if something like that happens, you know?
Yeah, reschedule.
I got one here. It says seizure pain. Does a seizure? Does it having a seizure? Wait, does having a seizure hurt? Also, do you guys feel any signs of it coming? Thanks in advance. I usually just wake up with paramedics there or my siblings or somebody in panic, but let them go through the hurt afterwards, the postictal headache and all that. If I fell on my arm, I fell on my back, then I have that. But otherwise, I don't feel it coming. I don't have any signs. I wish I knew since I can avoid the signs, but yeah, once it happens, it happens.
I just feel pain the next day after the tonic-clonics anyway. I mean, unless it's,
Instantly.
an immediate injury and, bleeding or something. But no,
It's
actually, during the postictals, nothing actually hurts that bad. Now that I think about it.
I think it's
Nothing
because
worse
I
in my head.
focus more on my head. Focus more on my
Yeah.
head. I don't pay attention. Then days later, I figure out I got a bruised wrist or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and those sore muscles just don't kick in if I stretch enough.
That is weird about the sonic clonics. I don't hurt that day as much. I feel like the pain with the tongue the next day. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Well,
Like I
obviously it's
eat.
swollen the same day.
Yeah.
You actually eat after a tonic-clonic with the biting?
I got one that says, "Oh, was somebody saying something?"
No.
It says, "So confused. I stopped cold turkey about 3 days ago because I was getting inseminated, hoping it was the best thing. I was wrong. Yesterday I was sleeping. I had a seizure. Luckily, my husband felt me and did the right precautions. Still in the hospital, and they are saying it could be the focal epilepsy. Has anyone else gone through this? The same thing? Maybe not insemination. Anyone else have any advice for going cold turkey on smoking weed?" I don't think that was the weed.
Cold turkey smoking weed, that just do it. It's not that. I don't think that smoking weed has ever been something that you need to taper off of. Is that actually the question.
I'm suspicious of what they're handing out at the dispensaries
Basically,
nowadays.
they were
They
like,
try to stop cold turkey on that shit that they turn nasty.
yeah,
from my
basically the
experience.
person said they ate cold turkey and about 3 days ago, now they're having a seizure. Stopped because she was getting inseminated, hoping that was the best thing, but I was wrong. Yesterday I was sleeping and had a seizure. Luckily, my husband felt it and did the right precaution. Still in the hospital and saying it could be focal epilepsy. Anyone else has gone through the same thing, maybe not insemination. They just need advice. I
I
never
mean, if
stopped to eat
it's,
cold turkey, and I would not assume that it did that in particular.
yeah,
Haven't heard that. Mark, you think going cold turkey is make you have a seizure?
no, that's why I was saying if it's triggered by it's going like stopping the weed, then it's not the weed. It's probably she's actually got some form of, epilepsy or seizure disorder that has the, lower seizure threshold, because typically the average smoker can stop without significant side effects. Like, I mean, average smoker. Some people these days go a little overboard with like concentrates and oils and dabs and like, I don't know. But a typical person like smoking a bowl or two each day, you don't go into withdrawals, and certainly any withdrawals from cannabis use do not carry the same sort of seizure risk that GABAergics do, like the alcohol, benzodiazepines, barbiturates. Those all act on GABA receptors, and tolerance at those receptors from addiction with a sudden abrupt cold turkey can trigger seizures in people who even aren't epileptic. But those are really um, the only examples where the actual withdrawal symptom itself is capable of producing, side effects that are potentially lethal, the seizures from those. But um, cannabis does not act on the receptors that regulate anything that could potentially be lethal. The CB1 receptors with the psychoactive effect don't cause respiratory depression like benzodiazepines or others.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense. So as long as they're getting the right stuff and not overdoing it on the other concentrates, cold turkey shouldn't be an issue.
yeah,
I got something else here. It says, gradually been increasing my Excopri dosage. I just got to 200 milligrams a few days ago, and then we'll be heading towards 250 milligrams. I have noticed it does seem to be helping, but I am curious as how long it took to see the full results. I am also on Keppra and lamotrigine. I've been on them for years. I don't have grand mal seizures anymore, thanks to lamotrigine. But I still have these mini episodes that causes my brain just to think certain things over and over and not be able to really speak to anyone while it's happening. Those are usually less than 30 seconds. I even hear people around me saying things that I know they aren't saying, or sometimes read things and they have the same thing written over and over and over. After a few seconds of looking away, it goes back to normal. Last month, I had 9 instances that this happened, of this happening since taking the medicine. This month so far, I've only had 5. I hope it stays there. I know it's different for everyone, but I'm more or less curious for those who take this medicine, at the time frame it took to fully be on it, and how much luck have you had? Who is on Excapre? Angel's
Me.
on Excapre. How long did it take? Is what the person is asking.
Can I'm on week 8, and I still got 4 more weeks before I get to the 200 milligrams.
Mm. So this person just got to 200, they're saying, a few days ago.
Yeah, I'm still in the titration process.
Okay, so yeah, telling the person you got 12 weeks, then that's pretty good help, I guess.
Yeah, the titration packs they give you, they give you a pill, basically what to do every week, and it's basically that. And if you start feeling too strong of effects, you have to report it to your specialist right away, because then they have to stop it right there. But
Is it a controlled substance?
yes, it's a level 5,
Oh,
Do they tell
schedule
you
5.
what they mean by too extreme of effects? Is there a specific criteria that they give for that, or is it just if you as the patient feel uncomfortable with the um the level that you're at, that you can just stop it like right there?
I would say extreme effects, like for someone who's feeling the heart rhythm, I will call that extreme effect. If you're getting the rash, that one can be deadly.
Yeah. Is it the Stevens-Johnson syndrome again? Like
Yeah,
um Lamictal?
I think so. I have to look it up again, but yeah, that they talked to me 3 hours about it, and
Well,
the main thing they focused on was definitely like, if you get this rash, it is deadly, you know.
does it cause like just a regular sun sensitive rash, like not the Stevens-Johnson syndrome as well, or is that not something that they went into? Because I ended up getting the just not the emergency condition, but I had to stay out of the sun because I would get like little bumps and stuff. So
focal echoes not stopping this time. I have catamenial seizures every month. I usually get 4 days of focal clusters, getting less strong each day until I have what they call blips or echoes, just brief moments that feel like focals. Well, this month, it's not freaking stopping. I'm on day 11 since the focals started. My blips are still going strong. I hate my brain and I want a new one. I didn't sign up for this bullshit. It's under advice, so I would assume the person's looking for advice. Does anybody get blips?
I think those are just like really short focals.
Actually, I don't even think I could answer this because this is catamenial seizures.
oh well, Yeah, never mind then.
Yeah, I mean, I get blips, but they aren't for that same reason. Um, yeah, and I stopped having focals. Shout out to
Maybe
Mel.
maybe we should just discuss our blips anyway, even though they're not, maybe there'd be enough similarity to have some.
Yeah,
I don't know,
so
what are yours?
my blips are like sometimes I might think maybe I smoked too much, or like, it's like a quick nod. It's like not even seconds. It's like, what did I just nod, or am I tired, or what's going on? It could be a second where I just feel like the quickest little thing, like I fell asleep really quick. It happens sometimes. I didn't know if that was a seizure or not, but just little blips. How are yours?
Yeah,
Sometimes
they're
those
kind of
blips are
similar.
long blips. I've blipped and missed a bus stop, so yeah.
Yeah, I've never blipped like that and missed anything, but yeah, it's kind of a similar. I get kind of just like sitting. I mean, usually watching TV or something, and just like a sudden drop, and like things aren't the way they were just a second ago, but I can't really describe how or why. And then it's kind of like, okay, moving on or something. It's like the
Yeah.
way a lot of people describe the dropping, kind of drop in the stomach, like a roller coaster type thing. I get that, but kind of on one side of the body usually. My blips, I kind of would say like just not dropping, but like just at the peak where you're just about to go over. You're not moving down, you're not accelerating, just kind of like something's about to be different or was different than it was a second ago, but it's not like full blown falling down, free fall. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense. It's so hard
No,
to
I mean it
describe these
sounds
things.
like pretty much a brief, like momentary lapse in awareness. Whether you think you're nodding off or it looks like some people describe it as like a sense of something going wrong. But either way, they're always brief from what I understand. A blip is never more than a couple seconds and not a full-blown seizure. And if they're linking it to catamenial, then that's just more around that time of the month.
Yeah, the
So
blip I
Does
hormones of the
that
explained,
cause, be careful.
the blip I
do
explained for that I missed the bus stop, I think that was a focal unaware because I was trying to fight it and couldn't fight it and fell into a focal unaware and missed the bus stop. I found it funny, but yeah, that was only at the moment.
Better
do
laugh it
the
off.
do the hormones of catamenial seizures, is that like lowering the seizure threshold sort of thing, or is it something where there's an active triggering effect of because the way you spoke there, it kind of makes me wonder if it's how this is slightly different, because it
Well,
seems
yeah, I mean, you have to understand for women, the cycle is all month. So if there's a more consistent balance of the sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, then around that, 7 to 10 days sometimes is when the changes occur to initiate the period. And that's when it does lower the threshold. And I think they would have to get a little more specific about individuals to determine whether or not it's an actual trigger. But a lot of times, if there's a trigger that's kind of easy to come by, which could be dehydration, another, sensitive thing around that time of the month. So I think for most it's lowering the threshold, but for anybody, it could also be a trigger at different points in your life.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
hard to
This teacher at
understand these.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just saying thank you. It's hard to understand these things from, this end.
Yeah, it's understandable. So this teacher here is saying they had a seizure at work and the students were great about it. Sixth grade or sixth form college, I don't know. I don't know if they're in this country. Had a focal aware seizures, rarely tonic-clonics. Normally I get an aura. They call it an ocular migraine, dread, sweating a couple of hours beforehand, and can get myself somewhere safe. But this morning it hit me out of nowhere as I was walking across my teaching lab. Apparently I sat on the floor before falling and said out loud, "Please get me some help." One of my students ran to the reception to get a first aider. One gave me her unopened water bottle. Another brought me my lab coat to use as a blanket. Don't remember any of this, lost a good 45 minutes of memory there, and apparently my right arm was seized up and shaking. But I have been told by the first aider that my class was super calm. One had started a timer, another one had Googled what to do if someone has a seizure, and they were reading out instructions of what to do from the NHS site. Now home, I'm taking the rest of the day off, but I am very proud of how well a group of 16-year-olds responded to what must have been a very freaky situation for them. That's inspirational.
I can say
Y'all did very well.
Brandon had a seizure in front of children at school or at work. He said that the children came up to him the next day and asked him, "Are you that guy who had a seizure?"
And that's why I'm looking in the comments, noticing. I think it's because in the UK, school, college atmosphere seems a lot different to the US. This coming from a British person, so don't take my word for it. I could be wrong, but what school in the US is like, yeah. So everybody in the comments is saying this can't be in the US.
Yeah,
Like for
sixth
the students to
form,
stay
I think
calm.
it means it sounds like it's a British school.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they say, 16-year-olds?
Yeah, they said 16 to 19, sixth form college. So even to bring
Oh,
the
sixth form
college word in
college?
is like standard. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, all the
Oh,
comments are just really positive, saying glad to hear, young ones can still step up and starting the timer was a great idea. Yeah, staying calm is a good one. This one was first diagnosed, asking seizure questions. Thanks for taking the time to read. So a few questions, but background. Before that, first seizure was 4 months ago. Never had one before that. It was kind of just I stood and sat and stood and sat consecutively after a day where I had slept late, had 6 to 7 hours of sleep, 2 cups of coffee, very little water and food. Second time was 2 months later, happened Memorial Day. Slept late, 6 or 7 hours, felt tired, complained about being tired, ate food but didn't hydrate, and drank a cup of coffee. Got up to grab some socks, knelt down, and had a seizure. The third time was 2 months later, a few days ago, had a decent sleep, went to bed later than usual, another 6 to 7 hours, went on a run for the first time in a while, came back and felt wrecked. Made a coffee halfway through drinking it when I had a seizure. I'm now on Keppra, but I wanted to ask about what this is. I don't feel an aura or anything, and I also all 3 times made a groaning noise before blacking out. I also remember groaning, thinking, what's happening? Or wait, is this happening again? And blackout. Third time felt much quicker when it happened than the first two, and my contacts fell out when I was awake. It was most likely the worst of the bunch, but I always make the same groaning sound, then black out, wake up after 2 or 3 minutes, can't remember what I did during the day for about half an hour. Second time, drank electrolytes, Gatorade, and recovered quicker. I just can't tell what this is. Anyone have a similar story? I don't know about you guys, but the coffee stands out to me. What do you think?
But probably doesn't exactly bother me, but yeah, could be a thing. Could be a real big thing. Certainly, people. Uh,
And then when they at the bottom there where they say I drank electrolytes, the Gatorade. I think we went over that before. People calling it out as sugar, not real electrolytes. Definitely not the way to rehydrate.
Makes me want to go get a Gatorade right now.
I mean, there is salt in there too. It's not just sugar, but yeah, not enough of the good quality electrolytes. Like Lufa said, you gotta get something better than just the Gatorade, salty, sugary stuff. But
I go through like 3 cases of water a month.
you don't drink tap water or like filtered tap water? Anything?
I don't really know anybody who drinks tap water anymore. But as soon as we
No.
get low on water, my sister's like, let me know when we're low on water so we don't run out. So, yeah.
Is that a regional thing, I wonder? I don't know. Or maybe I'm just
I would say national.
Yeah, people are
national.
kind of what they call posh or bougie. In the UK, they say posh. You know, too good to drink tap. Like I drank a lot of tap water as a kid, but now everywhere I go, they got water bottles and not as many cups. So yeah, people are
This is
getting
tap water. I mean,
That
this is a
seems,
bottle of water, but I refill it with tap water.
yeah, I mean I use tap water. I just run it through a filter and it's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. I don't know.
Everybody got disappointed at me
But I mean,
because
look
I
at
made ice cubes with tap water.
look at that lifeline, man. I don't have anything to worry about. So I'm good.
Good to know. The chlorine and lead, it looks like, is the only they're most common like harmful chemicals associated with tap water, and like you said, you filter it, so
Yeah,
that should be that extra
I
protection.
mean,
But
yeah.
what is all this nonsense about tap water being poisonous or
I mean, in aging
The
infrastructure, I guess I
fluoride
can understand.
to control our minds that turns the frogs gay, right?
What, where are you coming from with this? What are
Alex
you talking
Alex Jones was freaking out about the fluoride in the tap water. He was like accusing the Obama administration of using it, like adding it to the water to affect some sort of mind control plan. And as a side effect of the tap water having these chemicals and byproducts of this, like, I don't know if it was a voter manipulation kind of scheme or something, but the frogs, there was some like what was interpreted as homosexual behavior that was observed by some frogs somewhere in the country, and he was flipping out that the frogs were becoming gay because Obama was adding chemicals to the water. So,
about? Okay,
yeah,
that was a conspiracy I definitely don't remember.
Right.
yeah.
The water can turn you gay. I'm sorry.
Well, I literally drink hose water every day, all day. All the water I drink is from a fucking hose.
Yeah,
I'm
someone
fine.
I made
I'm
ice cubes and out of tap water. Someone came over and used them. And I don't know what they thought I made ice cubes out of. I'm not gonna take a bottle of water and pour it into an ice tray. It never even came to my mind. It's just
Yeah,
always something like that. And they got disappointed that I had ice cubes from tap water. Then they told me we only use tap water to boil stuff.
I
This is
mean,
the generation.
just tell them that it was bottled water. They're not gonna know.
yeah, you couldn't
Well,
tell
then
this
they
was
start at then at that point, this person would go, What brand though?
The same
Oh,
brand
yeah.
as the one that you're pouring into
What
the
brand
glass
of
for
tap
'em.
water
Just
do you
tell 'em
want?
that's your brand.
If this person is that bougie that they can tell the difference between bottled ice and tap ice, it's like, okay, they're gonna be already questioning it. Like, no. I know the difference.
Yeah, and
Oh.
they mixed it with alcohol. They poured alcohol in these ice cubes, so I don't even
Oh,
think you.
there's no, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
So then once they found out, they were kind of disappointed, and I was just like, "Hey, my bad. I didn't know ice
Yeah.
cubes and water, putting water from a water bottle in a tap. I mean, and an ice tray was a thing." And yeah, it's a thing, I guess.
I mean, maybe if it was some sort of like $1,000 bottle of scotch or something, and you're going through all of this ceremonial, like pouring it carefully into these particular special, like
From the wrong.
the Glencairn
Swirl it around the glass.
glasses, and like, yeah, like that, those cups that like right right in your nose so that you can taste like smell all of
Smell
the
it.
wood and the smokiness of the barrel and everything, and the age, the 200 years it's spent in that barrel. I don't know, I might spend a couple bucks on an ice cube in that sort of case. But otherwise, that's excessive.
Go ahead, Kevin. Next one, swirl it around. Check what Rick said in the chat. Evian spelled backwards.
Yep.
And that's what
That
it
tap
is.
water smells good, huh?
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of bottles of water right here, just drinking water, drinking water.
Whenever I go to the grocery store and I see like the family is leaving with like 6 of the giant like packs of water bottles, my only thought is just okay. Well, okay, I have 2 thoughts. One is get a fucking water filter. 2, there's you're getting plastic in your water from the water bottle. How is that any better?
I try not to think about it. Let's put it like that. Try to just read the bottle. Crystal Geyser, that's what's in here.
And then so many of these survivalists like store all those gallons and cases of plastic water in a shed or an outdoor like facility and let it boil all year round and just say they're prepared in case of an emergency.
Like you're gonna get sick drinking that. I don't know what you're talking about.
So it says they're made in Weed, California. 50% recycled PET plastic. What is PET plastic?
Yeah. So it's a kind of plastic. PET is polyethylene terephthalate plastic, a widely used thermoplastic polymer known for its recyclability and versatility. Yeah, they use it in a lot of stuff: clothing, carpeting, other products.
Yeah, I see they make clothes.
I mean, the what was the name? I mean, polyethylene is, you know, everywhere. But what was the second part? I don't.
They're making
Yeah,
clothes.
what was the post about? Yeah.
Polyethylene
Oh, terephthalate?
ter,
You asking for the word? Oh.
yeah,
Polyethanol.
but what PHTHALAT.
It's actually
Just PAT.
polyethylene.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got it.
It's there in the chat. Rick put it up.
Well, I had Google open, so I did not see that. Right. I only have this tiny little 14-inch laptop thing. I gotta get
No, it
a
looks like they're
side
endorsing it
monitor or
for
something.
waste reduction, that it's easier to recycle,
Yeah,
reduces the amount of plastic.
PET.
Well, concerns do exist
Good
about
stuff.
microplastics,
I
leaching
thought it
the
was something
chemicals from
fancy.
pet products. So they still call it valuable, but clearly mentioned that microplastics are an issue. Still consider it safe.
Yeah, I got something new here other than plastic. Only thing I
Considered
remember.
safe and safe are two different things, though.
Oh yeah, far from that. But if they're still making money off of it, that's good enough.
Like it.
The only topics I remember was plastic, rectums, and seizures.
Mm.
Yeah, you guys missed the rectum conversation. That was
Yes.
hilarious.
Wait,
No,
there was
that's
no, there was
that Smirnoff
another weird
tampon
one.
is gonna be.
Oh yeah, yes.
Um,
Oh wait, no, wasn't there something else that was weird too?
Syringe, the Smirnoff tampon, the
oh
yeah, there was some days, and then the videos that Pookie wasn't gonna stop until he found.
Oh right, yeah, that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That rectum rescue med is that's different.
Yeah, the
It's been
look
around
on
though.
Rick's
That's
face, I think that he's glad that he missed all of that part of the conversation.
Rick
Yeah.
is gonna want to watch this episode when it gets posted.
So, got one that says, "Can a neurologist force you to stop taking your medication?" 24 years old, and I've been experiencing generalized tonic-clonic seizures since I was 15. Since since then, I've been taking carbamazepine. When I was 19, it was believed I had outgrown my epilepsy. So, in agreement with my neurologist, I stopped taking the medication. However, 2 months later, I had another seizure. Since then, I've been back on carbamazepine and have been on seizure free for 4 years, which I'm very grateful for. That made me wonder, can a neurologist advise you to stop taking your medication? I've read that it's possible to outgrow epilepsy, but ideally, I'd never even want to stop, as these medications give me peace of mind. Do more people keep the medicine their whole life without seizures? I just take my medication because I'm told, and I've noticed that I don't have seizures when I take it. So I've noticed that I do when I don't. So that's all I need to know. You're gonna have seizures if you don't take it. You might be all right if you do. So yeah, I'll
Doctors
listen to
can
my
always
neurologist.
refuse to write a prescription. They stop giving you refills, then you're not taking it anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard Ann say that. I believe. Um,
Plenty of them go that route.
you're not gonna listen to me. I'll let you go, and won't have you as a patient. That sucks. But one of the comments says he can advise it, but the decision is always yours.
In theory.
Another one says a doctor may suggest you stop your meds, but since the return of seizures is always a possibility, it's your call. And yes, a lot of people stay with their meds for life, no matter how long they have been seizure free. One thing I've come to learn is that doctors may present their suggestions in a manner that leads us to accept it without second thought, and we may end up agreeing with their suggestions when we aren't, in fact, being properly informed. Like someone said, we do really need to advocate for ourselves, ask for second opinions, educate ourselves. I wish you stay perfect. I wish you stay perfectly well. Another one. Absolutely not. If you feel uncomfortable with the direction he is going, feel free to get a new neurologist. You're never stuck with one doctor. There are tons of neurologists out there that may be better fit. Says, could my medication have caused my seizures? Before I started having focal seizures, I was on Zoloft and Buspirone together for a long time, but would always, would sometimes randomly drop the drug for a while, not knowing it was bad for me to stop. Does anyone else know either of these medications or randomly dropping them could have caused these seizures? Zoloft and Buspirone, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Using those together
Zoloft
can
is
increase
a
the risk of serotonin syndrome.
yeah, Zoloft is an SSRI medication, antidepressant, and Buspirone is I think it's classed as an atypical antidepressant. It is a a monoamine releasing agent. It releases dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. I think, I'm not sure. I think I recall that it may block the reuptake also, but basically the serotonin, well, SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake. Yeah, wait, what was I saying?
Maybe you're getting to the interaction, how too many happy pills can
Oh,
be bad.
yeah. Well, the serotonin released by the buspirone is not the biggest, um, the strongest effect of the monoamines. It's mostly the dopamine that it acts on as far as its mechanism of action. Um, so, and yeah, SSRIs are mysterious. I've been on an SSRI with buspirone before. I don't recall if it was Zoloft specifically because it was on the generic version. Um, I think sertraline was the name. But I'm sorry, what was the question about it? Anybody?
Basically, they
Still
were
often
asking,
buspirone.
yeah, could it be their medication that caused them seizures?
Oh,
When you stop
yeah,
taking
yeah.
Zoloft and Buspirone together.
I mean, stopping an SSRI suddenly can cause a phenomenon known as brain zaps. Those are weird, like electrical zapping sort of sensation that occur in the head. As far as I know, they're not actually seizures, despite the symptomology really resembling seizure activity. But I would want to double check all of that before believing any of it. I I've taken my medication for the evening, so
One of the comments said, yes, side effects and inconsistency like dropping for a while can cause seizures.
I wouldn't expect stopping a monoamine releasing agent, something that is releasing the dopamine. That's the positive, like active stimulation of more electrical activity in the brain. To stop that abruptly, it seems like the withdrawal symptom from that mechanism of action would be, reacting in the opposite direction and having extremely low, um, like depressed, um, activity, kind of a sluggish, low mood sort of thing. I wouldn't expect, um, like excessive stimulation from buspirone withdrawal, like abrupt cold turkey withdrawal. So excuse me. So I don't know what sensations they were necessarily feeling, but um that's why I would think that it's more likely to be a serotonin selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor symptom, and brain zaps being um, interpreted as seizures because the other medication doesn't seem likely to actually cause seizures. So I don't know. That would be my theory.
Somebody saying a new side effect after 10 years on Keppra. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Have been on Keppra, brand name and generic, for over 10 years, slowly increasing dosage, never experiencing side effects. Currently at 1500 milligrams in the morning and 2000 at night. Here's the kicker. I just moved to the US from Canada and recently switched to the US version of the generic. I'm now absolutely riddled with fatigue, memory issues. I even had a seizure, which are typically caused by lack of sleep, after sleeping 11 hours last week. I suddenly remembered reading about the side effects when I first got on it. Could be related. I'm absolutely struggling and having a hard time at work. Welcome to the US. What do you guys think?
Like amazed that it's a different, like it's that different, you know, the med just going from Canada to the US, like they noticed it that fast, meaning that is not the same medication. I want to know what the Canadian version is.
Right.
Yeah, me
How can
too.
it be anything other than levetiracetam in Canada?
Right? Like that's what it should be. I don't get it.
I was here with somebody maybe like the second time I did this, and I believe Rick was there. There was another guy. He has the regular Keppra, and he said he was in Canada. He doesn't have the generic version. He has Keppra.
Oof, fancy man.
The one comment on here says I have to wait for my Canadian neurologist to transfer my files to the US, which takes 4 months before the US one accepts me as a new patient. The pharmacist friend suggested switching to the brand name.
Okay.
So apparently the pharmacists between here and Canada just across the board say if it's not working, then go back to the brand name.
Well, yeah,
That's pretty
being that they give their
suspicious.
meds and stuff for free, why not give you Keppra for free instead of give you a generic?
It's not even a high schedule. Like, why would it take so long?
Mhm.
I think I was on Kepler when I went to Cancun, and I got to go take that.
You say
So
Cancun or Canada?
Cancun, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a little different. You can get a
it's
whole lot
still
over there.
across the border of the USA.
yeah, he was out there riding dolphins. Um, got one that says, "No, I have no memory of reading something, but my kids say I did." The title says it, but I guess I was reading a story to my kids and I thought I skipped a page, but they said I read it. I have absolutely no memory of reading it. Short page, like 3 sentences, but still. Is this seizure related or maybe medication side effects? I just started a cosamide, 50 milligrams twice a day this week. I haven't felt any negative side effects so far. I feel like I'm posting in here a bunch because all this is so new to me. Also documenting everything for my next appointment. Memory is a thing, so if you haven't felt any side effects, memory is that side effect. Personally, I say that. Yeah. Do you guys think it could be seizure related or medication related, or both?
It could be both or either. Um, I don't know. I
It's hard to say because we all been on different meds and we all have memory issues and
So it's the meds. Um, yeah.
when my medications have caused memory issues, it's generally like after the fact and kind of a big chunk of time. It's not like a specific single page in a storybook. that level of, specificity would make me think it's probably more likely to be seizure related. Some sort of brief, I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but something that just interrupted the recording of memory without stopping his ability to read the page. And to his daughter, if he continues reading, then nothing would appear abnormal. So it's really really interesting, honestly. I feel kind of bad talking about it like it's some sort of science experiment, but
Somebody's seeing this and it's helping somebody.
it's a puzzle.
I
One
know
of
I
the
wasn't here
comments
for the whole
said,
thing, but how often do we feel like experiments with our doctors anyway?
Um,
Very
You guys
often. I
never get that
call it the
vibe?
guinea pig effect.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
thinking so. Hey, sorry, Pookie, what was that comment you said?
I was just gonna go through the comments when you're done talking. I'll let you finish because the comments are gonna be here. I don't know if you're remembering.
Yeah, the guinea pig thing definitely comes into play when it is the NeuroPace data. How I still don't have access to it.
The
No closer.
NeuroPace is your RNS
Yes.
or yeah.
Yeah, they expect daily
What's
data transfers, and I don't have access to that data.
but you
And I
have
don't
to
think that's
send it
fair.
over to them daily?
Yep, send it over to them. Use the wand on the head, just like when they do in the office to adjust the settings. They expect the data transfers daily, and they pitch it as making it easier when you go into your appointments that they're supposed to discuss with you any seizures that stood out over the previous 3 months and match it up with when you either swipe the magnet to kind of bookmark it for them and they match it up, use that or use the ones that the patient brings up to adjust the settings accordingly. Um, and yeah, I got curious in the last 6 months or so of how to view my own data so I could see if there's just anything out of whack when sometimes I feel like something might have happened, but nobody was around. There's no way to tell. And they just explained you wouldn't know what you're looking at. So don't call back. Between the doctor's office and NeuroPace, pretty much got a similar response.
Is it something where you signed a bunch of paperwork that gave them the right to use data from like the um from the implant for like training purposes on their own AI models to predict
Yeah,
seizures
that's
or
that's the
to
assumption, not to mention
analyze?
it was done at a teaching hospital.
Yeah.
So every pre-op test and scan and everything was done at the teaching hospital as well as all the surgeries. And that sounds about right. I'm assuming that it was just agreed to as a part of the yeah, so we'll
I
see. Got to
mean,
go back to change the battery eventually and hopefully we'll be at a different hospital and take it from there.
if that's the case, though, then the data from the implant would probably be in some sort of like raw format, just like big tables of spreadsheets and numbers and stuff. I don't know.
Well, the reason I was curious about that is because when the RNS rep comes in to make the adjustments, they have the exact same software. Their laptop looks exactly like mine, except for they sign in with obviously a different username and password, and it opens up a whole nother row of prompts, and that's where they can access the data. And it reads just like an EEG. in in the format, and the lines, the spikes, however many electrodes are in there, have their own, it's 2 axis. Look at it like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely can't get that username. Nowhere close.
Right. Yeah. That's, I mean, what are they afraid you would do with it? I don't know.
That's what I'm
I don't
curious
know.
about.
It's really interesting. I could see why they would want to be very protective of that data and not
I
want
think
it.
they're hesitant because they don't want me to ask any more questions. They never really give a detailed description of what they're adjusting on the settings. If they're changing the length, or I just kind of overhear what they discuss when the tech is teaching. Yeah, the tech was teaching the neurologist for a long time after the surgery, and she would point something out and say, okay, so you're um, gonna set it off beforehand, like make a impulse, set the impulse prior to this mark or level of read. I don't remember what word she used, but um essentially that did I concluded from what I heard in their discussion that they were definitely making the impulses longer and sooner, but not making them any more I don't want to I think stronger is the word, but they were saying that that'll kill a battery, so don't do that because that's what the doctor, or the neurologist prompted him. So you're not upping the intensity. That's what it was. You're not making the intensity higher at this point, and the tech came back with that'll kill the battery. So let's make it sooner. And that was on one of the appointments that they didn't even ask me about my diary, because that's the other thing that comes with NeuroPace is a subscription to myseizurediary.com, and that's how I record all my seizures. They have access to it, and they used to discuss it at every appointment, but not anymore.
I didn't know that was a website. That's kind of funny. The
Yeah.
the name, at least, but I don't know why I find that funny, but
I mean, it's
uh,
user friendly.
um,
It
yeah.
helps notice trends, and they do have a lot of different types of seizures on there. So when you look at it as a calendar version, if I see more orange than blue, then I know it was more absence than tonic-clonics.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So it's not just like, because what I'm doing is just a big list or something, essentially just a single note and like the Google Notepad thing, and just individual dates and times, and I give them like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, depending on the intensity. Um, so yeah, just a single list like that. It doesn't, does it give like graphs or
It has
something
two
show
different
like
views.
when I,
Yeah, you can see it as a list version or the calendar version, kind of like an Apple calendar, where you can look at the whole calendar and it'll just give the tabs of like blue or orange depending on what kind you have. And in the list version is where you can see more details. I like using it because after a seizure, I'm not always thinking about what I'm supposed to be making note of. So when I record it
yeah.
on my seizurediary.com, it gives you prompts as to um, cause. It has a little drop down if you skipped meds or dehydrated are like the most common causes, and then it asks what type of seizure, and then there's a blank box to make any notes. And there's more details than that, but you don't always have to fill out. It's not like it won't let you record the seizure without filling in every field. So that's another convenient thing. And yeah,
Okay, that
if I record it
sounds
way
like
later too, I can always change the date and time.
an online version of my physical copy that I have right here that also gives you all the prompts and stuff.
There you go. There you go. It just has to be digital, so NeuroPace can use it for their benefit too, or
Yeah,
other
it's true.
patients' benefits.
It may seem like over the top though, but like corporate espionage is really that ridiculous like between NeuroPace and their competitors, like even part of a single patient's raw data file, it would be of value to a competitor. So
Yeah,
it's
that's probably what it
ridiculous
comes
that
down
it's
to.
gotten to
Don't
that
even risk
point.
that you can sell it.
Mm. Oh,
Okay.
Great suggestion, Brandon. Glad you like it.
yeah.
I'll stay off the grid. Nobody gets my info.
Right?
Well,
You
the
can just dance with
benefit to
it on your own.
I've brought it up before. There's the benefit to the physical act of writing it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, if I did something like that, maybe I would remember the prompts that I'm supposed to be focusing on for each episode.
Hey, hey.
I brought up the like actual like physical writing of stuff down just when I was talking about um teaching. Like I've noticed because like my program doesn't require a lot of like writing, but I'm around, the educators who are working with the kids in the classroom, and they're like, yeah, no, ever since we swapped to digital or like online everything from when COVID happened, the kids can't remember shit because they don't write anything down, you know?
Nope. Math still has to be written out.
Yeah.
And in this home. Math especially.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
checking your work, that can't be done online. Just no.
Yeah. I mean, math. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Um, yeah, if you haven't written out step by step how you've done it, then you haven't actually
Yeah,
solved
anything
the
online is going to
problem.
simplify it for you. You
Yeah,
can't write, 2/4 as a fraction
it's
online. It's going to adjust it automatically, and that's not
yeah.
not how it's
Um,
supposed to work.
I remember going through school, I felt like getting the answer felt like the goal, and now like having finished my degree, I'm realizing no, the process of the solution is more important than the correct answer at the end. So, yeah,
It's those like thinking and learning skills that are more important than just being able to
yes,
answer. Like
yes,
if you're out in the world and yeah, you can do like fractions and calculus and whatever, but if you can't apply it or come up with a solution to an actual problem, what does that really solve? What use is that?
The word problems everybody hated, but those are the ones that actually introduce problem solving.
the word problems were always my favorite, but I was the math systems type autistic, nerdy, high IQ weirdo kid. So that was my
Embrace your
jam.
skills.
But I was too outside of the norm. I had to be pulled out of school at fourth grade to be homeschooled because I just could not fit in. But let's not talk about the story of my life right now. I
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.